go to stream starting. Are you live in Kobe's thing?
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm.
share your screen thing.
What do you
Your
mean?
stream. Do you know how to do that? No, like in Go Live. Screen share or like share your screen in the chat. There we go. Watch stream. And then I'm gonna go to here. Live scene.
Yeah, it's not going to show me on that part, but it's going to
Discord.
show the websites I'm using to discuss the creatures
Correct.
and everything.
Correct. And then I'm gonna be going to
I
Discord.
am here.
Hello,
And
Kobe. I've not fully started. It's marked on the in the Streamlabs itself. It's
All
on
right,
my
everybody.
my starting soon.
What
So
is
okay,
going on? We are
I
going
will
to
not
be
show the
doing
screen yet.
Lovecraft lore with Drunkle Crow. I have the Discord up that he's going to be sharing and everything. So
All
we're going
right,
to be
I'm gonna
watching it
actually mute here
with
so I can
him.
talk to them.
And we're going to be learning things. So if anybody has any questions or anything, let me know. Like, put it in the chat, let me know, and I'll relay it to him, and he'll try to answer it to the best of his ability. Other than that, yeah, we're just waiting for everything to get started, and we'll be on the ball. And if you do hear an echo, me and Drunkle are in the exact same room, so I do apologize for that. Alright, guys, what's going on?
well, we're just getting it ready to get started. So
Alrighty.
like I'm not gonna lie, this is definitely a first for me to do this, but
Hey, it's all good. I just didn't want anybody waiting on me, so I wanted to get ready as soon as I
absolutely.
could.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and click the live screen and start this.
All right.
Hello, everyone. Welcome here. We are going to be starting quickly here. I am Drunkle Crow, and we're going to be discussing a few different things with the lovely world of H.P. Lovecraft, the insanity that he causes, as well as just the in general power that, well, is the cosmic horror mythos that he has helped generate. Joining me right now, currently, is Umbrella Doc and Kobe Scroby. Thank you both for joining me here to learn some stuff about the wonderful world of, well, H.P. Lovecraft.
Well, thanks for doing this. I'm excited. I
Yeah,
want to
me
learn
too.
about it.
This is gonna be really fun.
Well, it's gonna be a little bit creepy and fun, and I kind of hope I expand you guys' knowledge a little bit here. I'm using the actual Monster Wiki, which is maintained by quite a few people of the H.P. Lovecraft Society. Um, we're gonna we're gonna discuss a few things. Um, Also, Kobe, go ahead and yank Foxboy. Give him the permission to jump into this here
Okay.
because he just popped on in, and Foxboy's also going to be joining us on this.
All right. I'm doing it right now.
The
There we go.
the very first creature we're going to be discussing is the one and only originator that Lovecraft created, that being Azathoth. Azathoth is known as a couple of different names with the mythos. We have him known, as you can read there, the blind idiot god, which is the insulting way to talk about him, or it, I should say, the Daemon Sultan, and the Nuclear Chaos. the reason he has earned the nickname of the blind idiot god is the joke with Azathoth. He literally created us all by accident. He is at the center of the universe and literally created this universe unintentionally. Pretty much rolled over, burped, and created us.
God, that sounds like how I was born.
Yes. Azathoth is also considered to be probably, I would recommend, close to the top of all, if not the most powerful entity, being the one who created it. Given his level, though, he is constantly, effectively sleeping in the middle of the universe. He cannot escape it, cannot do anything for it, absolutely massive. Can't do anything, just sits there generating more and more of the universe. It is stated that once he wakes up or is able to get into this universe, depending on which version of the mythos you speak about with it, he's either A, going to wake up and we're all going to disappear again, or B, when he wakes up is the beginning of what scientists would call the Big Crunch, the reverse of the Big Bang, where the universe implodes in on itself, going back into Azathoth.
Oh. So I just played The Shore. I don't know
Yes,
if you played that at all.
I've
And
heard of it.
so at the end you get an Azathoth encounter. And it's pretty spectacular to see. It was visually amazing.
I'm not surprised. A lot of people describe Azathoth as, well, we'll show by this picture here. I'm about to open it here. You can see he is literally just a giant mass of tentacles. Eyeballs, teeth, that it's not something pleasant. He is very unpleasant. The scale here comparatively, this planetoid type item here is one of the main worlds that that the Shagoth inhabit, which are considered insane entities. I will be going over them a bit. But this planet here is about, I think if I remember correctly, 300 times the size of Jupiter.
Oh wow.
Jesus.
He is, yeah, he not a small boy, him a big boy. Azathoth is a very big boy. Now, the whole thing with him, we've heard the name mentioned before. I'm pretty sure anyone watching will also know of it, possibly. That being the character Raven in Teen Titans. I'm pretty
I
sure
know
you guys
exactly
have
what you're
heard.
talking about there.
Yeah, the chant, Azeroth, Menthios, that's who she's
Azer-
referring to.
Azeroth, Mesothos, Zenthos, I think.
Yeah, that is one of the ones she is referring to. The whole aspect of Azathoth is that he is the creator of alchemy, creator of a lot of it, also recognized in the Bible as Azazel, the angel of knowledge.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. But like it says here, the fact that Azathoth is just his given name. He doesn't actually have a name. That is what just calls him. And as Lovecraft described it, a fundamental evil too terrible to even be described.
So basically it's a big major no name, but a big dangerous no name.
Yeah, it's indicating that in the Necronomicon it refers to him as Azathoth because his real name is so horrible nobody dares to try to pronounce it.
Yeah. That's actually one of the names that I can pronounce. There's a lot of them that I've come across that I can't. I can't
Oh
read
yes,
at least.
a lot of them are going to be like that. You got to give credit to the world of Lovecraft is a lot of the names are very difficult to pronounce.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro, I
And
couldn't
here,
hear you there.
Oh, my
Right.
bad. Shub-Niggurath. That's the only other one I can pronounce besides Azathoth.
Right. Now, here's the thing. This is the biggest thing for Azathoth. He has never actually appeared in any of the works of Lovecraft. He
Oh.
is only ever mentioned in the Necronomicon and the people who have occasionally glimpsed him by Nalarthotep, his, well, child. He is the one that goes around keeping the legend of Azathoth going, keeping it so he's there. But he is so stupid and well, frankly, dumb. He has no thoughts, can't feel anything. But the big thing is, a lot of it is anytime you hear a flute sound, a melody that puts you slightly into a sleep state, that's him.
Okay.
So if you're sitting there and you just randomly feel tired, that's supposedly Azathoth feeding on you.
That's what's happening to me. It's not that I'm not getting enough sleep. I don't hear the flute sound though.
Yeah, a
But-
lot. I'm not surprised. It's a statement that, well, Lovecraft loved to do, is using Azathoth as just the means of an end. Frankly, he is the beginning and the end.
And then, of course, there's one of the more known ones that only I know of anyway, and that would be Cthulhu.
Right. And now here's a name that, well, I'm not going to be able to pronounce properly. This is another entity that fights with Azathoth, and that's, I'm going to horribly pronounce this, but it's Jadahog. It is the intelligence that was once part of Azathoth. And it is believed in the Lovecraft lore that this is the intelligence that went on to form the entity known as Yog-Sothoth.
Okay.
The reason I started with Azathoth for this discussion
Yeah.
is one of the very first things he ever wrote, Lovecraft ever wrote, was the poem of Azathoth, where it just describes him and it's someone praying to him. No other big thing, no calamities. It was his beginning before he stepped more into what he became known for with the cosmic horror, body horror, and that like. Any questions about Azathoth, like what he does, what his main goal is, or anything like that for you guys?
Well, not really. You said that he's basically sleeping, right? And if he wakes up, that it'll cause the big crunch. So,
Right.
is he doing anything else in between that, or is he sleeping kind of similar to like how Cthulhu is referred to
He
as
is-
sleeping? and
He is
dreaming?
similar to Cthulhu, except that with Azathoth, he is so dumb that he can't bring himself to wake up. He doesn't know how.
Okay.
Well,
So
I
it's
remember.
not so much. It's not so much that he doesn't know how to wake up. He just can't remember. He's that dense. Hence the blind idiot god. He can't see anything. He can't do anything. He's just there.
But the
Okay.
thing is, I remember you and I were talking about beforehand. I remember you said Azathoth was one of those entities that, God forbid, should he ever wake up, then that's pretty much end of the world bullshit. All of that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's end of universe. He would eat everything. There is no stopping him. He can't feel pain. He can't be killed. The only thing that can happen is him going back to sleep. And the only one who can put him back to sleep is Nalarthotep.
Okay. How does that happen? Are we going to get into that later?
We will get into it a little bit later,
Okay.
but I will explain it as in the effect of he keeps him asleep by literally continuing to spread the legend of the king of all of the demons, the Sultan demon, the blind idiot god. By keeping the legend alive, people are remembering him and not actively waking him up. That's how they do it with that. Why he does it, I have no idea. Yeah.
What was the entity's name? The only one who could put him to sleep?
Nalarthotep. With
Nalarthotep.
his
Okay, so
monstrous, with his monstrous musical players, as how they would describe it.
so basically, kind of a how what's the word when like how do I word this? Like a demonic lullaby or whatever, some bullshit like
Right.
that.
In a way, yes. That's what keeps him complacent. As long as that's going, he will sleep and not wake up and go, ooh, humanity, nom 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 nom.
And if anyone tries to go, like if he wakes up and someone tries to fight him, he's just gonna go, "Oh, cool," and just.
They will, he will just make them cease to exist.
In other words, like for anyone who watches that's into Marvel, Thanos don't have crap on Azathoth. Thanos snaps,
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
destroys half the population. Azathoth wakes up, destroys the
Cracks
universe.
off a morning. Yeah, he wakes up, cracks off a morning fart, world goes bye-bye.
That's about it.
Yeah.
He just has to fart on us, and we're all dead.
Yep.
Dude,
Pretty
I don't
much.
even think he has to fart on us. All he has to do is yawn, and we're done.
But with that, we're going to move on to the next two entities that are coincide together. And that is an entity you have recently learned about, Kobe, by listening to the storyline, the two of them. That being the Elder Ones, aka the Elder Things, and the Shagoth.
Okay. Are those the ones that they? Oh yeah, no, go ahead. Never mind. I'll listen.
the Elder Ones are the ones that they found at the Mountains of Madness.
Okay, that's what I was gonna say, but I don't want to get ahead of you.
Right, they're the ones with the starfish head. They were the first, beings that lived on the Earth, and they created the Shagoths.
Okay.
The Elder Things are not enemies, effectively, of the world. They really don't care. We're below them. We're basically cattle to them. They would harvest our brains if they needed to. That's what their whole basic is. They are one of the most intelligent and, technologically and artistically advanced races in the worlds of Lovecraft. They were the first ones that landed on Earth and believed to be in his work created humanity through experimentation. They are pretty much just a race of scientists. Anything of science of art, science of math, you name it. They were able to create worlds or create entire towns underwater, in the Arctic, all of it.
So that basically translates to humanity is nothing more than lab rats to them.
We were lab rats to them, yes.
My little test subjects.
Yes, the descriptions for a lot of it, there is a lot. They are barrel-shaped, ugly, disgusting wing membranes. They've been described as, looking like giant melons, rotting melons. They, effectively, also, like I said, created the Shagoth, which are entities that are, amorphous. Think giant amoebas. That's what a Shagoth is. Except they exist for one thing. They're going to see you, they're going to eat you, and absorb your DNA and all that to make you into them.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, the Shagoths are not pleasant. If out of all creatures in the world of H.P. Lovecraft, I wouldn't mind meeting the Elder Ones. Because at least with these guys, you may have a chance to survive.
Or unlike the ones I think Drunkle, you mentioned before, that I'm pretty sure it'll be later on the discussion, but the deeper ones or deep ones or whatever they're called.
Ones, yes.
Oh, you know what? I just searched Shagoth and I pulled up a picture. Has anyone seen the show Lovecraft Country on HBO?
Yep, that's exactly what they dealt with in one of it was a Shagoth.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Cool.
That's not. I've never heard of that, but I do need to. I need to catch that at some point. But I know I only recently watched the YouTube biography on YouTube of H.P. Lovecraft, like talking about his life and everything. And Drunkle directed me to his all of H.P. Lovecraft's writings or books or whatnot all in one package, I think. And I just started listening to that.
Yeah, the whole aspect with it is, like I said, though, these things aren't very big, though. They're only about 6 feet tall. They're not huge. So they're not that ugly. Well, they're ugly, but they're not that dangerous unless they want to research on you. We usually are ignored by them.
Anal probe commencing.
At times, yes.
This is not tentacle porn, Umbrella.
Well, they did have tentacles, which they mostly used to get around with.
We have watched enough hentai to know where tentacles go. And it is not a safe spot.
And they're stated to be considered one of the most technologically advanced, like I said, because they actually traveled the stars, taking the Shagoth with them and seeding other planets.
Sorry about that.
Oh, you're fine. Unfortunately, Earth was their last area. They unfortunately died out here on Earth whenever the Shagoth rebelled against them and began to eat them. Now, the interesting thing, a lot of people have heard statements that animals know when something is dangerous, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've all heard that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Hey, what?
Well,
I didn't catch part of that. What was that?
You all heard that animals get angry or agitated when they're near something dangerous.
Oh yeah,
Or
because it's
something
like they say
frightening.
animals can sense danger for the most part.
Right.
It's a saying is.
Right. Any animal, primarily dogs, and this was documented in his writings of the Mountains of Madness, at the Mountains of Madness. I'm sure, Kobe, you remember some of the scenes. Their sled dogs became extremely violent to the point that they would attack these dead bodies of these creatures as well as themselves and their human masters. They would go completely berserk.
Yeah. Yep.
Right. I'm sure you remember that. And
Mhm.
that's because of the stench of these creatures. The description is literally, it's classified as indescribable, but the smell is what would send the animals going crazy.
Yeah. I remember that, talking about that too.
Right. The Mountains of Madness was one of my favorite stories of Lovecraft because it was embarking into the beginning of the insanity and madness that he was going to bring to the world. They, like I said, they are known to have synthesized tons of life forms. Many, many different types. In fact, in the Lovecraft stories, there have multiple different cities. The one in Antarctica at the Mountains of Madness. People believe, followers of Lovecraft's, likings and that writings, believe that Atlantis was another one they created. And humanity just took it over before it finally sank into the sea.
I was gonna say,
So-
we all know how Atlantis ended.
Right. A
Right.
lot of the things that they explain, these giant cities, these missing giant cities, were theirs.
Yeah, I was just gonna mention that. Well, I've heard so many stories of these lost cities or like cities that want to remain hidden because tons of shit has gone down beforehand. I mean, I'm just like
Right.
Atlantis is among them, and I'm wondering because I've also heard of El Dorado. That's the city of gold.
Yes.
I'm not sure
Yes,
if that's on the.
Yes, that is actually it was considered part of the Elder One's cities.
Now, would Pompeii be considered that too?
No, Pompeii was a human city, built far later in the lifetime of the Earth.
Okay.
The cities that were built by the Elder Ones were built prior to the main separations of the Ice Age and all that.
Gotcha.
Jesus, because the more I think about, because the more you keep mentioning this stuff, it's making me think. It's like, oh my God, like all these lost cities and stuff that they were saying, oh, they're not meant to be discovered, or there's secrets that are meant to be kept a secret and everything. It just makes me now question, especially with the Lovecraft stories. It just makes me question, there's got to be more to it than what a lot of these scientists are theorizing about. I could be talking on my ass for all I know.
Well, that's actually where he got a lot of his thoughts. Lovecraft originally wanted to be a scientist, so he included a ton of science and research in his stories that make you question everything, and that's what he always wanted everybody to do, is question every single thing you saw or heard or believed. He wanted you to look into that and
stop and
question
think.
that.
That's interesting, because as I was listening to the Mountains of Madness, it kind of reads like a report.
Right.
Because that's kind of what it is. He's making a report of what they found. And as I'm listening to it while I'm working, I'm hearing this stuff, and I'm starting to, just subconsciously kind of think like, oh man, I can't believe they found that, and I'm like, wait, this is a book.
Right. He had that ability that when you listen to the audiobook of At the Mountains of Madness, you actually picture it as like you said, Kobe, a actual scientific report, like you're listening to a newscast of what the hell did they find.
Yeah, or even like a documentary kind of.
Right, and the reason being that it worked is back in the time frame that he wrote At the Mountains of Madness, we had not explored Antarctica. So his thought was, what could be there? And this is what came from it, is At the Mountains of Madness. Because no one had gone further than the edge of Antarctica at that point in time. It's similar to what happens for Everest, when we first climbed Everest. No one knew what was going to be on the top of Everest. No one had an idea, but he did. He had this glorious things that he wrote about with the Mountains of Madness and Everest, based on his other works with the Chinese mountains that were really messed up that he came up with, the Yangtze, I believe it's pronounced, or Yinchi, or however it is. That this one, Doc, you would not go there. The creatures that are at those places are literally called the demonic Spider-Men. They are not pleasant to see. They are about 8 to 9 foot tall spider entities.
Yeah. No.
That have tentacles as well.
No.
And you know what's funny is that you mentioned that it makes because I'm like Drunkle. I may or may not have told you, but I've always been one for on the aquatic life, like anything under the ocean, like like sharks and all that.
And
but
that's a big thing with him. It's a huge thing with Lovecraft, was the underworlds, the under the world, under the ocean, all of that.
Because it's pretty much like nobody really knows what's truly at the bottom of the ocean, and it just makes me kind of wonder, what's really down there. I mean, for all we know, could there be just undiscovered species of like certain creatures, or could there be a lot more down there that we really don't want to know of?
Oh,
right.
No.
Just for you, Umbrella, that is one of the spiders of Lang.
No.
Here, let me look up here.
Yes.
We can't hear you, Umbrella.
Listen, okay. If I go in there, I am carrying like 50,000 gallons of Raid mixed with battery acid.
They're the
Okay?
size of an elephant. You're not winning.
No, okay? Listen, nuclear fucking warfare. That is what would happen if I went there, okay? No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I would take the nukes.
Yeah, like we were saying though, with these Elder Ones, they have appeared a few other times throughout the series. Like in the Witch Houses one, they're mentioned, which is another really good book or good series of Lovecraft to listen to. If you get the chance, I would recommend it, Kobe. It's literally just called The Dreams in the Witch House.
Okay.
Really messed up. But the Elder Ones, like I said, they are in HP's world, HP Lovecraft's world, these are our ancestors. These are the things that created us. Even though, weirdly enough, they themselves reproduce by, same way mushrooms do. They exploded in spores. And yes, it was in a couple of the stories that it describes what the spores do to humanity. And it is not pleasant.
Well, I would bet not.
Yeah, it is very not pleasant. It effectively turns you into a hybrid of an Elder One and a human.
Oh, Christ.
I did find a pretty good YouTube channel that has audiobooks of this stuff, and they have like background music and sound effects and voice acting, and it's really good. If anyone's interested, it's called Chilling Tales for Dark Nights, and they have a lot of horror stories, and they have a lot of Lovecraft ones, and I liked it a lot.
Oh yeah, like the Lovecraft in general is crazy. Like I said, you got so many of the different ones, and it is known that in the world of Lovecraft, that the Elder Ones did go to war with the original beings that worship Cthulhu, that being the Cthulhi and the Migo. The Migos, again, avoid them. Think giant freaking mosquitoes. They're ugly.
Oh, dear
Amigos?
God.
Yeah, the Amigo.
Amigo. Okay, I see here.
This is what Amigo looks like. I will let you see what Amigo looks like.
Okay.
That is Amigo. Basically, cross of mosquito and shrimp with giant wings and will eat you. Happily. Considering they are approximately 6 to 7 foot tall. And guess where they're from? Pluto.
Oh.
And they can stay there.
That explains why Mickey's voice is so high.
But before I continue on with the Elder Ones here, I am going to touch base really quick on this one place in particular. This is a huge location in the Lovecraft mythos. You will hear about this constantly. And that is the Miskatonic University.
I've heard that. It sounds familiar.
It is basically Harvard mixed with Yale in the Lovecraft mythos. It is in the city of Arkham in Massachusetts. It is the area that it is the university where most of the scientists come from. They have the Necronomicon in there. They have the Book of the Dreamlands, all of that. They have all of it there. And in fact, at the Mountains of Madness, the Miskatonic University is the one that sent the scientists to the Mountains of Madness.
Okay. I was wondering if I heard it in Dunwich Horror the other day when he went there to get the Necronomicon. Okay.
You did. That would be when you said you listened to the Dunwich Horror. I'm like, whenever Wilbur or I always mispronounce his name, but I think it's Wilbur. Because I try not to think of him too much, considering his description is disgusting. But yes, the one he goes to visit is, the biggest scientist or researcher in that world. That being, the librarian. He himself is big in there. Like a lot of the people there, that being Dr. Henry Armitage. He is the big guy. You will hear his name come up quite a bit.
Armitage, yeah, yep.
For some reason, I thought you were gonna say like Emotep or something. I was gonna say the fuck.
No. There are some Egyptian people that he does deal with from time to time, but Dr. Armitage is the one that has been able to read the Necronomicon without going insane. It is why he is considered one of the more powerful people mentally in the world of Lovecraft.
He's the special kind of stupid.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, like, and a lot of times, if you listen to like the joke musics that are out there, they do some Lovecraft songs, Christmas carols of all things, which is hilarious to me.
Oh my god, that makes me think of Death to the World, the one that you introduced me to, Drunkle, you asshole.
But one of the lyrics is, it's talking about the Dunwich Horror. It literally mentions Armitage would surely have come unglued. Meaning if he actually bore witness to what he was trying to stop. But moving with the elder ones here,
Is that
they
I
have
saw
appeared
Mummy
quite a bit.
kissing Azathoth?
Yes, that's exactly what that one is.
Okay.
What was
and
the
it's
question?
Mummy kissing. The song Umbrella asked about, it's the song I'm talking about. It's a song called "I Saw Mummy Kissing Yog-Sothoth."
Okay.
Based on the song "I Saw Mummy Kissing Santa Claus." It's very wrong.
He was singing it all Christmas. Like
I was.
Yeah, at Drunkle, I remember when I think it was like 2 years ago when we first became roommates, that all of a sudden that we were playing our game, and you used that song as a catalyst trying to get that one specific servant and everything. It was just funny as hell.
Oh yeah. But here's the entertaining thing to touch base again with the elder ones here, or as the old ones. They've appeared quite often in other series, including Doctor Who. They have been appeared in the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. They've been in Hellboy 2.
I still need to watch Hellboy 2.
But I mean, that's a lot of them. Like, in fact, you played it, I believe, Kobe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Canarium,
yes,
I believe it's pronounced. That is dealing that is viewed as a sequel to the Mountains of Madness.
Okay.
And depicts them a lot more.
I think that may have been one of the first Lovecraft type games I've ever played, so I had no idea what was going on when I played that.
Right. And this is what they say is what they look like. Not very pleasant looking, but not very threatening, unlike Azathoth and the Spider of Yang.
What's that one called?
This is what an elder one looks like.
Okay.
This is an artist's depiction of what Lovecraft described and how they came up to what it would look like. You can see the tentacles and the wings and all that, and its weird starfish head.
Okay.
The next thing we're moving to is the Shagoth. And we're just going to go right away with the image of it. This is a Shagoth.
Oh!
That is a human next to a Shagoth.
That's the third transformation of Nemesis.
Pretty much. The Shagoth are one of the most prevalent creatures in Lovecraft. One of the most prevalent.
Jesus, it's like they say, like the creatures of Lovecraft are nowhere near pleasant, and they're terrifying.
Disgusting. Yeah. Their description is literally a writhing mass of eyes, mouths, and tentacles.
Huh.
Not pleasant. And their size is approximately 15 foot in diameter.
Whoa.
Damn.
And yes, they are known to scream a cry, as it's listed here, of Tekkalili. Tekkalili.
Yeah. Okay. That's what was chasing them out in the
Yep.
Mountains of Madness. Okay.
Yep.
Sounded like you said ukulele for a second. I was like, say what?
Tekkalili.
Nope, it's Tekkalili. Tekkalili. Tekkalili.
I know. I'm just saying that it sounded like.
Right, and it's believed that it was either an order from the Elder Ones or a command that once they killed them, they just kept reciting because they have no brain. They're just an amorphous blob. They have nothing. They can form whatever organs, mouths, appendages, whatever they need. They can just form.
Talk about having a head with no one at the talk about having a ship with no one at the helm.
Pretty much. Yeah, these things here are everywhere in the mythos. After they were created and they warred against the Elder Ones, they spread out. They are somewhat sentient, but only sentient enough to know they have to feed on things. That's it. With them. They are... Oh, here's another version of them. I forgot about this guy. This is what one is supposed to look like when it's angry.
And they ate all the penguins, right?
Yes,
Coming
they were feeding on the penguins. But yes, this is one here that was feeding on it. But they have been on Earth for literally billions of years.
Whoa.
Well, definitely older than the dinosaurs.
Right.
Now, could that fall the lines of
You cut out again.
Yeah.
Would that fall along the lines of the movie, what is it? I think, where they were in Antarctica and the dude had to go to the bathroom really bad and he shit out one of the slimy, amorphous tentacle things?
Yes, in a way, yes. And I think it's also reminiscent of the Thing.
Yes, that's it.
That's what it's based on. That's what the Thing ended up basing itself on. Was a lot of people don't realize it. The Thing was a kind of sort of retake idea using the Mountains of Madness, because they went to the Antarctic and they found this entity, which was the Shagoth, basically.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
Yes.
I just saw on Lovecraft Reddit the other day, there is a movie coming up, I think, where they get lost in the Arctic like that. I can't remember the name of it now. But
yes, I know what you're talking about, Kobe, and yes, it is going to be another retelling of the Mountains of Madness.
Okay. I didn't know if it connected that much or if people were just thinking that it was similar to Lovecraft.
It's probably going to be connecting. It's likely going to be like a complete retelling or a rehashing. So I wouldn't put a lot of cadence in it, but I would definitely say it would probably be worth checking out.
Okay.
Well, Drunkle, I know you mentioned that there was a couple of different Lovecraft-based movies that are pretty decent. You said, well, I mean, there weren't that many, of course, but I know you mentioned there's a couple of them.
There are quite a few Lovecraft movies. Like, a lot of people didn't realize. I know every one of you have probably heard of the movie The Reanimator.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
That is actually a Lovecraft story. A lot of people believe, and I hate to be an insulter to it, and people can hate me if you like. People claim that the zombie god, or if you will, the godfather of the modern zombies, being George Romero. No, it was Lovecraft. He created the Reanimator series, which was a series of 3 books that talked about a guy trying to bring back the dead as zombies so they could do his bidding. He was the first.
Right.
They came out with a movie about me. That's so sweet.
And they ended up, yes, it inspired quite a bit. That's the other thing, everybody take, this is a big thing. A lot of the stories from Lovecraft inspired tons and tons of other series. Without
Right,
Lovecraft, we
and
would not have the zombie series. We would not have the cosmic horror, these creatures, these entities that are coming from outer space to eat us. In fact, the movie, I'll go off base here a little bit. The movie Event Horizon. I'm sure you may have heard of that movie.
Yep, awesome movie.
Very good.
That's a Lovecraft movie.
Okay.
so it's basically
When he went and his eyes were blind, he saw Azathoth. That's what the entity he saw was.
I need to watch
so
that
it basically
again.
translates to because I mean me of course and everybody knows I'm a huge zombie freak, and of course obviously Umbrella Doug, I know you are too, along with Drunkle.
I
But
don't know what would give you the idea that I am a huge zombie fanatic.
right. But anyways, like the whole entire like with George A. Romero and like basically moving on from Lovecraft. I mean, yes,
Yeah.
Lovecraft was the one who came up with
He inspired
the
it.
the
100%.
came up with the idea, but of course, obviously, it's like you said, Drunkle. It's more well known for Romero to have done all these movies and everything, and he's more well known for it. And
Right.
it's like you just said it yourself. Not a lot of people know that Lovecraft is the one truly behind all that stuff.
Right.
But it's because George A. Romero. Because now, mind you, I don't know every single thing about Romero as much as I respect him, but I just have a feeling that he was probably a huge Lovecraft fan, and that's why he came up with. That's probably why he.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It's actually it actually was stated by, I believe it was his daughter, that Romero had quite a few books from Lovecraft. Like
that explains it.
He inspired him. He definitely inspired him.
Then that definitely explains everything.
Right. Now, the next entities we will be talking about, which are bigger ones, are these guys, the Great Old Ones. The Great Old Ones are the entities that most people know about. They're the gods, if you will. And as you see there by the image, our lovely Lord and Savior, Cthulhu.
Did Umbrella Doc show you that shirt that I found that said, "Do you have time to hear about our Lord and Savior Cthulhu?" Sent him a picture of it a while ago.
I'm gonna have to send it to them.
Yeah, the whole thing is, when I say there are a lot of elder gods or greater old ones with like Cthulhu and that, everybody believes, oh, it's just like Cthulhu, maybe Yog-Sothoth, Shub-Niggurath, Nyarlathotep and that. No. This here is a list of them. There is a ton of these things that he wrote about. Look at that, guys. Like, this is the size. Like, there is so many of these entities.
Jesus. It's like the ones that we know of don't even put a dent in how many there are.
Correct.
Imagine if they all woke up and walked this planet at the same time.
Oh, there would be what planet? There would be no planet.
Welcome to
There'd be no universe.
Welcome to 2022.
Oh, shut the hell up, Umbrella.
But yes, the great old ones are these entities that are considered the gods or what were worshipped by humanity, and these cults that are always prevalent in Lovecraft. There's always prevalency with cults. Even at the Mountains of Madness, they talk about the man who wrote the Necronomicon, the insane sheik, or what they call him so many different names. You even yourself being it more somewhat fresh in your brain there, Kobe, with even the Dunwich Horror, the cult that the Whateleys were a part of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what a lot of these people worship. You played, and well, I watched it, and quite a good play for you on it, that being the Sinking City.
Yeah.
The Innsmouths are a cult. They worship Dagon. They worship the Deep Ones. And ones like that. That's what these are the entities they worship. That they actually exist in their world.
It kind of makes me, think, or at least, makes me kind of question. like you keep mentioning entities and everything. Like every time I think of the word entity, I think of like supernatural and stuff, like with ghost hunts and all that shit. I'm just kind of makes me wonder, would Lovecraft like? Because mind you, I only started listening to his stories on Audible, so I haven't gotten that far. It just kind of makes me wonder, like, would like all these other entities that like supernatural entities and all that, does that, I wonder if it's all connected to Lovecraft or what in some way, shape, and form. I could be talking my ass. I mean, I don't know.
He does have a lot of things out there, so a lot of things can be tied back to him. The cults, various cults and that, like, people didn't realize, but like the unfortunate cult, that being Heaven's Gate,
Oh
believe
Christ!
that comet was going to take them to another world. And it was a similar belief to one of the cults in the Cthulhu mythos, that being the cult of Cthulhu itself. There's a lot of ties in there where people believe that the things he wrote about is things he saw, or how he saw humans themselves.
So basically, when I go to continue listening to the audiobooks and all that, I'm basically gonna be in for one hell of a ride when I go to listen to the Call to Cthulhu. Pretty much.
Yes.
I figured as such.
We're going to move to the next entity here, or creature, if you will. That being Dagon. And I want to go to Dagon next, because he is a god in a way, but he is not truly evil. He is one of the ones that isn't massively evil in the Lovecraft world. He doesn't actively try to kill humanity if he doesn't need to.
Kobe, you saw him, I believe, in The Shore. You release him from the prison and he climbs up on top of the pillar.
Oh,
and
yep.
rides the
He
pillar.
was in between all the spikes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there is on Steam, there is a free game called Dagon. It's very short. It's just kind of like an interactive novel. But I liked it a lot. So I'm waiting for their DLC to add on to it.
Right. And I mean, that's the whole thing. He's called Father Dagon by the Deep Ones. And a lot of description and discussion on it is he really a great old one, or is he just a very powerful sea entity that is been on this planet? I myself don't have any statement in that, because I can't say one way or another, but he is the patron god of the Deep Ones. And the Deep Ones are very, very bad. And I wish to speak out on this one here. What I'm going to be discussing next may be a little bit disturbing to hear for some people, and I apologize for that.
And
The reason...
the next thing you're about to hear may be disturbing for some viewers.
I have a
Viewer
quick
discretion
question.
is advised.
I don't know if you're getting to it later or if you even know what I'm talking about. In The Shore, when I released Dagon, there's this other creature that's kind of like a pillar that has legs.
That's Mother Hydra.
Okay.
That's his wife.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I did not know that.
Yep. That's hopefully what they'll touch base on with it as well. But
Okay.
the reason I'm saying, giving a warning here, and I apologize if it even bothers any of you guys, the reason everybody hates the Deep Ones. The Deep Ones created the Innsmouths. If you've read any of it or played The Sinking City, you've seen what the Innsmouths look like. They're fish people with gills and everything.
Mm-hmm.
The Deep Ones make them by kidnapping humans and throwing them into rape pits to force them into breeding.
Oh Jesus! Yeah, I remember hearing about that.
I apologize if that causes anyone stress, but this is why I want people to realize in the Cthulhu mythos with Lovecraft, it's not all rainbows, flowers, or sunshine.
No,
What
here's
they
the thing. Here's a little. I mean, just real quick. With with Lovecraft, like if not 95% of his writings is not for the faint of heart. I can pretty much damn near guarantee it from what Drunkle has said.
Yes. I'm. You've been listening as well, Kobe. Would you also agree with that? That most people, you would not recommend anyone under probably 16 to listen to anything about anything from Lovecraft.
Yeah, it may be hard to. It may not be exciting enough also for someone younger like that. It's not
Right.
like there's a whole lot of action or anything going on. But yeah, for sure, it gets pretty dark, I guess. I was going to ask you, did you say they throw the Innsmouthers in the pit, or the Innsmouthers? I missed that part.
The Innsmouthers are what comes out of that pit after the Deep Ones have raped and violated the humans to create them.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So that's why a lot of the people despise the Deep Ones, including Dagon himself. In fact, Dagon's may be worshipped by them. Mother Hydra may be, but Cthulhu wants the Deep Ones dead. And Cthulhu trusts Dagon enough that Cthulhu's daughter, that being Cthulhu or Scylla in the, old beliefs as well, was entrusted to Dagon and Hydra so it could eventually kill the Deep Ones.
Okay.
Right, and that's the whole scary part, is with them, with Dagon. I had to touch base on this because Dagon is usually one of the first movies people watch that deal with Lovecraft. Because it was one of the most easily got, because you always, at least in my childhood, I remember seeing many times on, be it HBO or even like USA or Fox, you'd see up next, Dagon. And you'd watch it and you wouldn't know besides, okay, there's fish people. This is creepy. What the heck is this? You'd think it was just a monster movie and you wouldn't know that it actually was a very truncated version of the Dagon series, the Dagon mythos with it.
Kind of along the lines of, I would have to say, taking it way back in the day, before they were able to get more story out of it, would probably be the creature from the Black Lagoon, right?
Yes, that's another one that takes a lot of it from it. But yeah, like with him, it's hard to really understand the whole idea behind Dagon. Aside from Lovecraft got the idea from seeing a Mesopotamian artifact in a museum that looked like a man, mermaid, lizard hybrid and designed and came up with the idea for Dagon with that. All from seeing just a description of a different deity that was worshipped in ancient Mesopotamia. Crazy. Huh. Yeah.
It's just basically a perfect example. If it's not one thing, it's another.
Yeah. Now, Kobe, I wish to ask you a quick question here.
Mm-hmm.
You played that couple of those games, and you were asking me questions through Umbrella. One of which you kept asking me was about two creatures in particular, which is the next one we're going to talk about. Do you remember when I even mentioned him earlier? That being the entity known as Nalarthotep.
Yeah. Oh, that must have been Transient, the game.
Yep.
Okay.
Nalarthotep is better known as the Crawling Chaos. That is his nickname. Its nickname, whatever you want to call it. Nalarthotep is bad. He is the main antagonist, if you will, throughout the entirety of the Lovecraft mythos. You'll end up hearing about him quite a bit. In the Dreamlands, if you listen to the book, you'll hear about him. You hear about Nalarthotep in Call of Cthulhu. You hear about Hell, they mention Nalarthotep and Yog-Sothoth in At the Mountains of Madness.
Okay.
Nalarthotep is the creature that you wish to avoid the most. All he does, and all he wants to do, is to control everything. He wants to become the leader of all. The whole idea behind him is pure and simple. Well, frankly, probably know the idea behind where he came from. Ever hear the terminology, the man in black?
Mm-hmm.
Or Old Scratch? Or any of those quotes?
I haven't heard the Old Scratch one.
You said you have heard of the man in black.
Yeah, I've heard it. I don't know what it is though.
Okay, it's pretty easy to figure it out. The man in black, Old Scratch, is the one that tends in that being the Germanic, as well as any of the Christianity books, is the one who's after your soul the most.
Okay.
It is Nalarthotep in the mythos, even of Lovecraft, appeared in a garden for humanity just to try to cause humanity to go insane and destroy itself first. He took the form of a snake at that point.
Oh, Garden of Eden.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Nalarthotep is the equivalent of Satan.
Okay.
Or Lucifer. When he walks the earth, he is described as a tall, joyous, slim man of dark complexion who will offer you everything you ever want, as long as you will work for him.
Okay. Interesting.
That is what his whole goal is. He is very, very disturbing. And this is it's not a great image, but we'll do this real quick.
I was looking at some pictures on my stream here.
And Nalarthotep, yeah, you can pull up as well if you're able to. That's what he does. The best way to describe him, the man of 1,000 forms, the envoy of Azathoth. He will take you to Azathoth just to kill you.
I will give you anything you want as long as you work for me. Awesome! I've always wanted your soul. Wait a minute. That's not supposed to work that way. I'm supposed to get your soul. Yes, but I want your soul. So if you can give me what I want, I'll work with you.
It's always interesting to me when stuff like this ties into Christianity, stories.
Deep. Definitely.
Absolutely. Like, that's the thing, Kobe. There is a lot of connections to Christianity, to everything with Lovecraft. He touched base with all kinds of things. Even though I'm going to say, I should have said it at the beginning, I love Lovecraft as a writer and his visions of writing and the stories he created. Lovecraft himself was a horrible, horrible person.
I've heard some stuff, yeah.
Right. Yeah, he was a very horrible person, which I wish to let people know that now. Just because he's a great writer does not condone any of his beliefs or views or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So if you do even more research on him, you're going to find some pretty messed up stuff that he had done. Never touched his wife, divorced her, believed very, very much so in, well, for lack of a better terminology, eugenics. It's literally to the point of separation of all races. That's was his views, which is why a lot of the times these creatures that he developed are actually supposed to symbolize some of them as well. So just a heads up there, people. Some of the stuff can be a little freaky and disturbing when you research into it with Lovecraft.
Mm-hmm.
Just take it with a grain of salt on his views, and just enjoy what he wrote, and you'll be good.
Right, and I'm pretty sure that even the biography that I listened to about his life doesn't even put a dent on talking about what he was like throughout his life.
Correct. Like
I
it was.
was I was wondering if like even the Innsmouthers may even represent something
They
like
do.
that. Yeah.
They do. Unfortunately, that is his view of what African American and Caucasian crossbreeding made to him.
Okay. That makes sense.
Right. Yeah. Like, in all honesty, he actually believed that Jewish people came from jumping spiders. They evolved from a spider-like being.
Well, that explains why they get all the money.
Like, he's fucked up. Like, he was fucked up with things like that.
Yeah.
But
Like,
the next entity or creature, we'll call it a creature because that's what this thing is the sworn enemy, the absolute sworn enemy of Nyarlathotep. The second most powerful entity in all of Lovecraft, Yog-Sothoth. Yog-Sothoth, also known as Sit-Typhon, is the beginning and the end and the middle. Meaning he sees the past, the present, and the future. Yog-Sothoth is also the one that in the Dunwich Horror is the one who impregnated Lavinia Wheatley to create the Dunwich Horror and Wilbur.
Okay.
didn't they kind of put him into the first season of Loki in a way, being able to see the beginning, middle, and end?
Yes, in a way.
The final
Oh.
guy, he shall not be named because they didn't talk about him, and he was creating the timeline, and he knew everything about everything about everything. Like, there was
Right.
no stopping him.
Right. Like, well, Yog-Sothoth has multiple names, which is why a lot of them refer to him. And you have the Lurker, Opener of the Way, my personal favorite, Beyond One, All in One, and One in All. The being of 1,000 eyes.
Okay.
He sees everything. Like, he's literally just described as a collection of eyeballs. Giant eyeballs. And he is also thought to believe that even though he is evil, he's locked out of the universe. He's not truly evil. He's chaotic. If you call upon him, you have to do so with reverence and respect, and he will grant you vast power, vast knowledge, and can teach you anything you want to know. However, you are not to set sight on him.
Okay.
Because if you view him, you are now a gate. And at that point in time, you have gone insane, and he is now entering our world through you.
Okay.
With great power comes great responsibility.
Yes.
Hey, I'm going to be right back. You guys can keep going.
Okay.
Oh, it's Saskiot.
Hmm. Hey, Saskiot joined us. Hey, Saskiot, welcome. He probably ain't gonna talk. But there is actually family in this whole thing, which is the scariest fucking part to me. I'm sorry to swear with this one, but it is the scariest fucking part. Yog-Sothoth has a wife. Yog-Sothoth's wife is Shub-Niggurath.
Oh, lovely.
Which then translates into, and this is the funniest part, Cthulhu is his grandchild.
Oh, fun.
Well, I remember you mentioning. I remember you mentioning something about like the mother of Cthulhu and all that shit.
Yeah. That's like, I believe Cthulhu's mother is Yeb, I want to say it is. I think, yeah, Yug and Neb.
I'm just wondering what I walked into.
Tentacles. Lots of tentacles. Welcome. Step
Tentacle
right up.
raping.
Yog will bring a tentacle over for you shortly.
I've seen enough cartoons to know where this is going.
Yeah.
But yes, the whole thing with Yog is he is the most mentioned creature in the Cthulhu mythos or the Lovecraftian mythos, whichever you wish to call it. During any of the times you'll hear in the audiobooks or even just reading any of the stories, you will see them using chants. Like in the Mountains of Madness, he mentions reading the Necronomicon and hearing of the names of Nyarlathotep and the Great Old Ones and Yog-Sothoth. And then they move on to talking about summoning Yog-Sothoth in the Dunwich Horror, which they have a chant for it, calling him by name to bring him into the world. He is the most mentioned because he can either be a good cause for good in this or cause for evil. Most of the time, it's unfortunately evil. And this is a view / artist depiction of what Yog-Sothoth is supposed to look like.
Hold on a second.
I'm back. So was that the
Welcome.
creature in the Dunwich Horror, the invisible one?
No, that actually is Yog-Sothoth's son. That is
Okay.
the invisible one.
Oh, okay, that's right. You said that he impregnated her, and then
yes,
that was
Lavinia.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you look at the picture here, this little tiny speck right here on top of this mountain is a human summoning Yog.
Wow.
This is why they say you glance at Yog, you're going to go absolutely nuts. And because I went with Yog here, with it, like I said, he is a cosmic entity, outer god, birthed Cthulhu, Hastur, all of that. He is not weak. Out of all the entities, he is probably the one that could actually handle fighting Azathoth, if it came to it.
Oh, he's Wilbur's dad.
Yes. Wilbur Wheatley's father. He cannot die and will not stop. Like, as it says here, an excerpt from the Dunwich Horror. You have heard this statement, I'm sure, Kobe, recently. Yog-Sothoth knows the gate. Yog-Sothoth is the gate. Yog-Sothoth is the key and guardian of the gate. Past, present, future. All are one in Yog-Sothoth. He knows where the old ones broke through of old and where they shall break through again. He knows where they have trod earth's fields and where they still tread them, and why no one can behold them as they tread.
So it's like he's like the gate, the key, and pretty much the entire 9 yards.
Yes.
And is that where some old school RPGs came up with the Beholder?
Yes. The Beholder is I use the idea of a lot of stuff from Lovecraft. Namely, the Beholder is a form of either Yog's Eye or a Shagoth form.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Now, we're going to stick same in the family, yes, to Yog-Sothoth's mate, aka wife. That being Shub-Niggurath, the black goat of the woods with 1,000 young.
Well, see, that makes sense, because he looked like a giant penis, and she looks like a giant, well, you know what.
Yeah, kind of.
Doesn't surprise me.
They fit right together.
They do.
Quite literally.
Ain't that cute?
Talk about the whole brings a whole new meaning to the term 10 or 11.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, now it looks like a giant, like, tentacly
Right.
female
They
toy.
they always take whatever form they want. That is the big thing with it.
Oh, so now we know who's wearing the pants in that family.
Well, yeah, I mean, Yog don't care, so.
Oh Jesus!
And poor Yogg's a swinging door.
Sometimes.
Revolving door.
Yeah, like I said, you have all these different entities that they deal with, but Shub and Yog are the two that have created most of them. You've got Cthulhu, Neb, Yig, Yagoth, a lot of them. They came from the mating of Yog-Sothoth and Shub-Niggurath. Now, this is one of their children. It's not a very big picture, because it's literally just a mound of tentacles with teeth. And that's the big thing with it. They are nothing but pitch black monstrosities that will wrap you up in its tentacles and start eating you.
That's the kind of relationship I want.
Now, here we're going to go into something. Here's something we're going to go into a little bit gross. I am offering it to all of you, including you, Sasky. Does anybody here wish to partake of the milk of Shub-Niggurath?
Ew,
Oh.
no, ew,
I
gross.
will take a hard pass on that. Thank you.
Milk, you say?
Or a tentacly pass. Like, I don't
You know, I do have a box of cereal that requires milk.
The reason I mention it is, weirdly enough, Lovecraft comments on it and has stated that any who drink her milk mutate into creatures akin to the dark young of her.
Well, that's perfect for your umbrella.
You know what? Test subject number 876. I got your number.
But here's the most interesting thing as well. A lot of people have pointed this out on it. Stephen King and Terry Pratchett have both talked about Shub-Niggurath in their stories. Not many people know this.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You said Stephen King did as well?
Yeah, both of them have
Jesus.
referenced her.
Makes me wonder if Edgar Allan Poe did the same damn thing.
Probably. He and Doctor Who talked about Shub-Niggurath.
Jesus Christ, there's no escaping the Lovecraft shit.
Well, with Stephen King's movies and everything, like, I want to do a video on the lore and the mythos of it and the flying turtle. But, yeah, like, that would be insane.
For all of us old people, you don't fully count with this one, Fox, because you're not as old as us, so you're lucky on this one. You, Sasky, probably me, I know you, Umbrella, I'm probably sure you're about the same age, Kobe, here. Remember the video game Quake?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
The final boss in Quake was Shub-Niggurath.
Oh, I don't remember it that well.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It literally was an upside-down bar stool is what it looked like.
Yeah.
Okay, and why? And what is this whole entire thing of I don't gotta worry about nothing? What's that about?
I'm mentioning it because I didn't know if you would know it because, well, Quake is a fairly older game. We're talking like early 90s type shooter.
I've heard of the game. I mean, I've heard of it.
That's why I said you may not have played it. That I figured you probably didn't because it was an older game.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what you're talking about. Okay, that's what you mean by that.
In 96. And with that coming out in 96 and RE coming out in 94 and 96, you probably didn't play Quake because you were probably into the RE, fandom building with the story of that. Quake, however, it was messed up.
It's a story for another time, but I didn't actually play RE when it first came out, but that's a completely different story all in itself.
Yes.
Well,
I didn't
doesn't
even-
Quake predate RE?
The fuck?
Quake came out in 96, and I believe RE came out either around the same time or shortly after.
I thought it was 96. I thought Quake was newer than that, actually. I would have guessed like 2000 or just before.
No, Quake came out in 1996. It was one of the
Okay.
first FPSs. In fact, I think it was the first FPS right after Doom.
Yes.
Doom,
Right.
Wolfenstein 3D.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The thing
I
is,
think it predates Wolfenstein.
Oh, okay.
like, the reach in the Lovecraftian mythos is huge. Like, it's even in anime. If you've watched or heard of the series Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, they even refer to Shub-Niggurath in there as well.
Yes. I love that show.
And there are so many, it's such a big thing, like we were saying, with the whole bit of how wide branching this has reached. It's all over.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Shub-Niggurath
it's a
appears as a boss in Shadow Hearts.
Yep. Shub-Niggurath is the name of a French band. It's a name of a black death metal band from Mexico.
Huh.
It's
it makes
in
sense.
a lot of it.
Yeah,
It's in a lot of it.
I think Chupacabra was already taken, so they had to go with Shub-Niggurath.
And yes, a lot of people see this probably here. You might, I'm going to bring it up a little more. Yes,
Yeah, I saw
Marvel did have a bit with a crossover with the Lovecraft universe. It is a very funny comic series. I highly recommend it. It is hilarious watching Wolverine trying to use his claws to stab frickin' Cthulhu.
Okay,
I mean,
that sounds
in
funny.
a sense, that does make sense with the Marvel Universe having a multiverse and, like, the
Right.
Lovecraftian thing having this huge multiverse and huge universe of mythos. Like, it kind of makes sense that they would do a cross of that.
Right. Now, we're going to move to the one that people probably have been waiting for. The one that everybody knows from the Lovecraft mythos. In his house at Relay, dead Cthulhu waits dreaming.
Try to pronounce the actual words in the Elder language.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Which one are we on now?
Cthulhu.
Our
Oh,
Lord
okay. I
and
thought we talked
Savior.
about Cthulhu already.
Nope.
Okay, yeah.
I wanted to go to him next because we're going to move to some of the other lower monsters here again. But I wanted to talk about Cthulhu now because he is the one that most people know. They've heard, oh, Great Cthulhu sleeps in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. He is in his city of Relay, which took me forever to figure out that's how you frickin' pronounce that.
Yeah, I heard it pronounced earlier, and that's what I
Yeah.
thought it was until I heard it a different way.
Yeah,
It's- and it's-
I heard it many different ways until coming from Lovecraft's family as it went on, they said it was pronounced Relay.
Okay.
And it's funny because I just think about that song "Death to the World" about Cthulhu, and where it's like one of the lyrics, "He rules the earth and whatnot," and I come from the sea and whatnot. Like, yep, that just tells me like there's something tells me that it's possible he's at the bottom of the ocean and pretty much nobody knows it.
It could very well be. I'd welcome it.
Of course you would.
You would.
I tell you what, after 2020 and 2021, Cthulhu would be a really nice break.
And you could shut your damn mouth.
But yes, with Cthulhu, he is the high priest of all the great old ones. His job is to make sure that everything is returned to madness to be destroyed. That is his goal.
And actually, what's even funnier, I mean, it's just a little funny thing. Like there was this song I first heard at a con, the Narwhal song, and there was a lyric they stuck Cthulhu Iti. I'm going like, oh, okay, that's I'm like, that's weird, but okay.
Yeah, and the chant that you wish to hear, Kobe, I do know of it. It's this one right here. Ya, Cthulhu Fatagan.
Mm-hmm.
That is the chant, everybody, to try to summon him. And hopefully I don't see any tentacles showing up, so I'm okay.
And if they do, the only thing I'm gonna do is look out the window and go, "Daddy!"
I swear to God, if he comes, I'm gonna blame it. I'm gonna blame both of you.
Blame Kristoff, because he's probably doing the chant in his sleep.
Man, I'm finding out that the first audiobook I listened to didn't pronounce all this stuff correctly.
Yes, it's very... That's why, I recommend, if you guys get the chance and you have 1 credit from Audible, get the complete works of H.P. Lovecraft. It's actually all of his works that he wrote, read and narrated by the H.P. Lovecraft Historical Society, who have all the permissions from his family and all of that to do it and have all the stuff needed. It's a good one to go to. It's about a 50-some hour book, audiobook, but it's got all the main ones in it, starting with the poem of Azathoth all the way past Call of Cthulhu into the Dunwich Horror and all of them.
Okay. The complete works of H.P. Lovecraft. Okay.
Yeah. And there is the ritual that you were talking about. And I am not trying it. I cannot try that.
At the moment.
Funglui, Maglana, Cthulhu.
Oh, God damn it.
I always want to say Arlie. I can't remember now.
Relay.
Wagana Fatan.
Fatagan.
Fatagan. See, yeah.
I think you need to be German to read that.
I am German,
I don't even
so maybe
think
that's
German
why I can do it.
But yes, he has tons of worshippers.
Wait, I think that would sound better with Sasky reading it. Sasky, read that.
Send it me on Discord because I can barely see the screen.
Yeah, I got it zoomed in a little bit on my
Sasky's
OBS.
voice, I think that would be amazing.
And I just heard it like yesterday too, so
Yeah.
yeah, it would if he can figure out how to say them.
Pronounce it.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, I need to be able to see it properly to
I
try to
posted it
figure
in
it
the
out.
general.
Funglui, Maglana, Cthulhu.
Ngui, Melguanath, Cthulhu, Rel, Wagnagel, Fatagan.
Which
That's not bad.
supposedly translates into "In his house at Relay, dead Cthulhu waits dreaming."
That's what I was talking about
Yeah,
at the
dark
beginning
and
when I
cryptic.
asked you about Azathoth dreaming. That's what I was talking about.
Right. He's dreaming in Relay. That's where he's sealed.
Eh,
It is stated that when he
What?
wakens and it rises to the top of the water again, and that door opens, madness will invade all the minds of humanity.
Well,
There will-
madness is
Oh,
gonna...
great. You just had... great. Now I'm going to be in trouble when he wakes up.
No, see, I'm good. I'm safe, because I'm already crazy, so the madness ain't gonna affect me as bad.
Sure about that now.
No, I'll probably wake up tomorrow with Kristoff talking to me in plain English.
Oh, so you'd be in Dreamlands.
Probably.
He's gonna
Yes,
be
just
like,
so
"What's-"
everybody understands that, I'll explain that funnily real quick here. That's one of the nice places in the Lovecraft world, the Dreamlands, which is the world between, of course, our world and the world of the outer gods. In Dreamlands, the ones who guide you are cats,
Okay, I've heard
and
that.
they will talk to you and protect you and fight. It's funny when you think about it because they fight these little rat-like gnomes in the Dreamlands. It is hilarious to me for some reason.
Well, no, what's bad is Kristoff will be able to talk to me in plain English, and all he's gonna be saying is, treat, Treat. Give me treat. Give me treat. I want treat.
No, no, I'll find the biggest spider I could find, give it to him, and I'll make him bring it to you.
Oh no, he don't like spiders. He screams at them.
There is like the whole thing with Cthulhu. There is so much info here. You see, it's all talking about the same thing. The same statements is the upheaval of the new lands will cause the entities of Cthulhu to rise, the battles to begin, the wars to annihilate the world. He has tons of family. That being like his own children, Cthulhu, Cilia, all of them. Now there is other expansions on the Lovecraft mythos where being the grandchild of Shub-Niggurath and Yog-Sothoth, that is, they put him to sleep so he doesn't destroy everything.
It's basically, God forbid, this basically, like, if he wakes up, then basically the entire universe is fucking doomed.
No, see, this is what I don't understand, okay? All these elder ones and older ones and elder gods and everything else, they're all asleep.
No,
Now,
only Cthulhu and Azathoth are asleep.
now hold on, no, okay? Because even though they're asleep, they're still probably having children, which means one thing. The opposite side and their mates of this elder thing, they are having freaky deaky fun with someone who's sleeping. Okay, that is called a date rape drug. Okay, we already made that stuff.
So they're getting basically they're getting a version of Roofie, but just under the ocean version.
Yeah.
Yes,
They're
and yes,
getting the
Cthulhu.
seaweed.
Yes, everybody, and Cthulhu is also in the Marvel universe.
And that brings us back to the rape pits.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Full circle.
100%. Full circle. Yep.
I'll say that just makes me wonder where was Cthulhu in the Marvel universe.
Cthulhu in the Marvel universe it's hard to explain it, but if you look here, like, he's in Earth 616. Which is the Prime universe, basically.
I have to post that to the general because I can't see that.
I'm just showing an image of him real quick. Like, he is, just standing over them.
Well, that's going to be interesting whenever they get to that point in the Marvel movies.
Oh, yeah. I hope that'd be cool.
He might be coming out after the fact of Doctor Strange and the multiverse.
It could be where Doctor
This is the one that a lot of people are what they're looking forward to, is on Earth, the second part with the Avengers Academy. Natasha Romanoff merged with Cthulhu.
Oh
shit.
Ooh.
Now that's kind of sexy.
I don't know.
I was gonna say it could be where
What?
See, that's sexy.
Whoa. Also, I put the link to the HP Lovecraft wiki in the Discord if anybody wants to see it.
Yes.
Closer.
But no, I was gonna say like with
almost like succubus crossed with
Poison Ivy.
Squidward.
Squidward.
No, not Squidward. No, the character in WoW.
I'm sorry, I only play good games.
A succubus crossed with a Draenei.
And now for the last big entity I'm going to discuss tonight. It's the one I love the most. The one that I feel gives me the biggest fear.
Godzilla.
Castor.
Castor? I don't think I've heard of that.
Close. Almost looks like Godzilla.
The King in Yellow. Him who shall not be named.
Wait, you just said his name.
Oh no.
Yeah. He is He is the one that his whole goal is the annihilation again of humanity, but to be remade in his likeness. And that's his likeness right there.
I wouldn't mind looking like that.
Whoa.
That's actually really, like...
Kind of pretty in a way.
Yeah, like, really pretty in a way. Because
Just
of all
just
the
ignore
gold.
all the blood down here. Just ignore
Yeah.
that. And the
Basically
human
pre-
getting eaten.
Yeah,
It's basically pretty in it's basically pretty in a really creepy way.
Yes.
Yeah, some women are into that.
But Hastur has only been mentioned once by Lovecraft in his stories. He is a god, but he doesn't see the need to destroy unless he has to.
Okay.
Hence why he is called the repairer of reputations. He will repair your belief. He will repair you. But by doing so, you now bear his sign, the yellow sign. And therefore, you now wear that.
Oh.
Jesus. It almost kind of makes me think of the Captain Hook's hook from Peter Pan or something like
I
that.
know my new tattoo.
I was just gonna say tattoo ideas here.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
I already have the, 666 on me, so I might as well get that too. Why not get best of both worlds?
That is the biggest quote from him is, "Have you seen the yellow sign?"
Huh.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
called yield. Every time I go outside, I see that sign.
Umbrella, you'll burst into flames if you ever try to go to a funeral or wedding ever again.
Well, no, I can go into a funeral home. I just have a hard time going into a church.
Oh, before you get done here, I wanted to ask you about another one. I don't want to interrupt this one, but I wanted to ask you
Sure.
about Katiganar, who was in the Sinking City, or that was what I don't know if you watched the end of it. It was like the Katiganar was it a place they were trying to get to?
I think so.
Yeah,
You don't have-
that one's a little hard to explain, so give me a second here and I'll pull up the thing because he has locations for it as well.
So you don't have to go into it right now. I just didn't want to forget about it before we got done.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember how that even is spelled. That's the bad thing.
Um,
CTHYN IGGYR.
I
Well,
think the
you said
beginning
that was in the Sinking City.
The
You
Sinking
said it was.
City, yeah.
Yeah. Crap, I can't even spell it right. Sinking City.
Because they were trying to get to Katiganar, yeah.
I believe that's a location.
Yeah, it's a location.
CTHU. Oh, maybe I did do it wrong. UGGUNAR. That might not even be right.
Maybe.
Can't even.
Because
Find it.
I know it's CTH. Because
Yeah, because
I was saying
we were
it's probably the same pronunciation as Cthulhu, and it's a K instead of a C.
no, I don't think that's right. Crap. I was trying to even just get close and then have Google figure it out, but it's like, what are you trying to say?
There it
There
is.
it is. CTHYGONNAAR.
Yes, yep. That looks right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I thought it was. That's the prison of Cilia. That's the prison that holds Cthulhu's daughter.
Yeah, and then whenever you wake her up, she swallows you whole and goes gulp, nom 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 nom.
Yeah. That is that. That's what that is. So I was like, wait, that sounds so freaking familiar. Why can I not spell that properly?
Oh yeah. Okay. So yeah, it did have her. Okay, that was one of the choices that we made. Okay.
Yeah,
Alright.
yeah, because whenever you opened the gate, she came, well, you walked in, and then she swallowed you whole.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Like, thank you for pointing that out a little bit there, Kobe. The whole thing with the Cthulhu mythos is there are so many different locations, so many odd names. Like in the Dreamland books, they have so many different city names they go over. You end up sitting there going, eh?
Oh,
As
Scythilia.
your brain breaks.
Scythilia
Scythilia.
is Hastur's niece.
Yes.
Or his half-niece.
Yes.
I just saw it
Scythilia,
right
okay.
there, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Cilia is a very weird thing. Yeah. She, like I said, she is the daughter, as you can see there. This is her. This is Doc's new wife.
Aw,
Oh,
she's so
nice.
cute.
That's hot.
Tentacles and all.
But yes, the funniest part is she's in a fighting game as a young little girl.
Based.
Hello,
But yeah.
FBI.
No, it would be the TBI, the Tentacle Bureau of Investigations.
Uh.
But yeah,
Wow.
Hastur is called many different things also, like I said. You can see here, he has so many titles again. Kaiwan, the Feaster from Afar, the Peacock King, Fenric, the Thing in the Lake, the Great Prince. He has the power to destroy many things if he desired, but he doesn't. That's the interesting part with him. He considers humanity to be like sheep. He's a shepherd. That's a good way to describe him now that I'm thinking about it. He's a shepherd. He doesn't desire any kind of real hatred unless you force it. Now, who wants to go and poke Hastur in the butt and piss him off?
Alright, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna creep up on this thing, and we're gonna stick our finger in his butthole. That should really piss him off.
You sure it's not a cloaca?
I don't know.
And like I said, there's a lot of things with the Hastur. I only wanted to touch base slightly with Hastur with this and describe like the yellow sign and show his images with that for one reason. In the idea with Hastur, as I said, with the levels of power, you had Azathoth at the top, followed by Yog-Sothoth. Hastur is right under Yog.
Okay.
Yog is his dad. So, yeah, Hastur is that high. Now, the other thing we're gonna do is I wanted to talk about some of the minor, just monsters. Not so much the outer gods, but some of the little monsters that you'll deal with in this series. This series is. Now, as you can see, they have them separated into extinct, extra-dimensional, extraterrestrial, myth, religion. He incorporated all of it. And that's where I wanted to say with that. Everybody who sees Cthulhu, what do you guys think? You think an alien, right? You see the tentacles, the wing, you say, oh, it's an alien.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
can see that.
say alien. I'd say more
That's-
along the lines of a dimensional being, but not an
That's
extraterrestrial.
Right. That's where he splits it. The old ones, Cthulhu, Yog, they're extra dimensional. They travel the dimensions. The elder ones, the Shagoths, the Amigo, they're extraterrestrials. They're the actual aliens. So that's where you're gonna start getting a little weirder, because you'll hear one say, "Oh, they come from this planet," but they never come from anything like with Cthulhu. Oh, he's just here. Well, that's because he's sleeping here. That's all he wanted.
Yeah, they say like when the stars are right, then they can travel here, but they don't say.
Right.
But when the stars aren't right, then they can't live.
Right. That's what it is. It's the stars have to be right for them to enter our dimension.
Yeah, so it's just a different dimension. It's not necessarily like a planet you can travel to.
Right. Now, right here are some of the extra dimensional creatures. The one I wanted to talk about real quick, the one I think everybody will hear will probably go, I don't know what to think of this thing. It's cute but frightening at the same time. Remember I mentioned there was an enemy of the cats that they fought in Dreamlands, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's these guys.
Zoog?
The Zoog.
It looks like a fucking gremlin.
It looks like
There's a-
you.
There's a finger
It is
laying right there.
Yes. It is the size of a rat, can talk to you mentally, but will eat you if it has the chance.
That sounds like pretty much every rat I know.
Yes. Like it says here, they're the Dreamlands, the mortal enemies of cats, because they prey on kittens and are preyed upon in return by the adult cats. Yep. Now,
I've never seen one of those before.
you'll get to that here shortly, because you're probably going to get to the Dreamlands book, which is really good. This is a character in the series you'll probably hear about a lot. Randolph Carter.
Okay.
Randolph Carter is the self-insert, if you will, of Lovecraft.
He is the character you played as in Transient.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Carter.
He is as it says, he's the semi-autobiographical. A lot of his biological aspects, as well as his taste and nature, is all from Lovecraft himself, why he made him.
Oh, I remember you saying that now, Umbrella.
Yeah. Like, that's the whole thing with him. So anytime you, in the Lovecraft universe, you hear Randolph Carter or Randolph, that's him. That's literally Lovecraft himself putting himself in there.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think you were playing through Transient and you did something, and I'm like, oh, time for Agent Carter. And Drunkle was like, Carter? Did you say Carter? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, oh, yeah, that's Lovecraft himself.
Yeah, I remember you guys saying that now.
Yeah, like, a lot of the creatures in the extra dimensional are just ugly motherfuckers. I'm just going to say it that way. Fucking ugly motherfuckers.
Yeah.
But that's the whole point with it. You've got the Chaos Spawn. You've got fucking Deadites. Yes, everybody in the movie Evil Dead. Yes, the Necronomicon is it. It is a spoof horror movie using the ideas of Lovecraft in it as well. Hence why the Deadites are listed as a Lovecraft creature.
Oh, wow. Okay. One more thing before I forget. Back when you were looking at Dagon, I read on the screen, I don't know if you know anything about it, but in Elder Scrolls, there is a character called Mehrunes Dagon.
Yes.
Does that have any connection, or did they just steal the name?
It's kind of like an homage.
Okay.
Like I said, a lot of the times when they have that, it is a shout out, if you will.
Okay.
Ah, sure.
Like going on to this one here to bring it back up to go back to him with it. I hate when I do that. Go back. The outer gods are the creatures you want to worry about. And like I said, with Dagon, He's not truly an elder god, but he ain't really not an elder god. But yes, here, like you said, it's down here with it. With the Beyond the Mythos, they're in there. Yes, they are very big. But this is the one that I mentioned before, like when I said about the Christianity, right here. The biblical Philistines worship the god Dagon, mentioned in the Old Testament in Judges 16:23.
What? Okay, let me look this up.
Oh, wow.
Judges 16.
Yeah, the Philistine idol.
Uh,
Well, I'm gonna go
Then
ahead
the
and hop
lords
out.
of the Philistines gathered them together for
All right,
to
have fun,
offer.
Sasky.
I'll bug you guys
Oh.
later.
Yeah,
Catch
see you later.
Sass.
Thanks. Then the lords of the Philistines gathered them together for to offer a great sacrifice unto Dagon their god, and to rejoice, for they said, Our God hath delivered Samson, our enemy, into our hand. What? They say Dagon in the Bible?
Welcome to the
No.
world. Welcome to the world of Lovecraft, Kobe. Now do you see why I say it's everywhere?
Maybe I can go to
Yeah.
church if they talk about Cthulhu and stuff.
I want to go to church now and ask them about Dagon.
Right?
Oh Jesus!
Well, here's one for.
Do you have like go to church and be like, excuse me, do you like have time to talk about my Lord and Savior Dagon and the rape rituals that he does?
I gotta wear the shirt.
Well, here's one for Foxboy. The metal band Dagon hails from Lansing, Michigan.
Nice.
That's the whole thing. A lot of them, they're there. And right there, Mehrunes Dagon, the Elder Scrolls.
Yep, that's where I saw it.
Nice.
Daedric Prince, based on the idea behind Dagon.
But anyways, this was a great discussion. But I'm gonna hop out too.
All right. We're almost done. I just want to discuss one last thing before we're going to stop for this evening. One last creature, or should I say, bit of thing to talk about with the world of, well, H.P. Lovecraft. The worlds he created and helped form are a beautiful world to read into. They're wonderful. He's touched so many different genres, so many different series, from music to art to movies, anime, video games, manga, you name it.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
Everybody has probably, in one shape or another, growing up, has been touched by part of Lovecraft's works. A man that has seen things in a weird way and gave us such beautiful, horrific, terrifying things. Do not be afraid to explore into the older worlds and works. Dive in, listen to At the Mountains of Madness, listen to the Dunwich Horror, and see that the one thing he loved to do, and this is the big thing I want people to take away, and I'm going to constantly mention it. It makes you look at humanity itself and question it. That was the whole point behind the Mountains of Madness. How far are you willing to go?
How far
to find an answer?
How far
are you willing to lose yourself to the madness?
How far are you willing to chase the white rabbit? Like,
and
that is
how
thing.
much and how much are you going to sacrifice?
Or how deep into the rabbit hole you want to go?
Yeah.
Yep. How deep do you want to go? How much are you willing to sacrifice? That is what he makes you question in his stories.
Or
would you be willing to give everything to have the power to do one thing?
Or Drunkle another
someone. So
or
that's
Drunkle
the big
another
thing.
Or Drunkle another phrase you've always used with me is when getting into this stuff, buckle up.
Buckle up, Buttercup. Because the whole thing, people, I'm gonna end with this one here. You played the game, I know you have. More than likely. The Warhammer creatures, the Tyranids, are from Lovecraft. They're the same thing. Look at them.
Mm-hmm. I haven't played.
You may not have played it. You've heard of it. The Thing.
Yep.
All of these are all entities that came from him, or he helped inspire. If you watch the anime Gurren Lagann, the anti-spiral was inspired by it as well. And a cosmic eldritch race. And that is a term I want everybody to look into and see if they can really grasp it. The term eldritch. It is a favorite line of Lovecraft, and it's one thing he always wanted to do. Eldritch is meaning one thing: mystery, mysteriousness.
The beholder.
Yep, the beholder. We're going to touch more on the next time here for more on Lovecraft and go more into depth on some of the other monsters and creatures. We touch base on some of the main ones this time because good way to start the main stuff out of the way first before we dive into the more eclectic insanity that is Lovecraft's work.
That's funny. That free game on Steam, Dagon, their DLC that they're coming out with is called the Eldritch Box.
The mysterious box.
Interesting. Yeah, this is. I love this. I could do this all night.
I could too, but I know everyone's getting tired. It's a little after midnight here.
Yeah, you guys are later than me.
But the interesting aspect that I wanted people to realize is simply this. And in everything you have done, in a game you played, there is always a touch of Lovecraft somewhere.
Yeah, Resident Evil has the tentacles down pat. Like,
oh yeah.
So there is no getting away from the Lovecraft. It's everywhere.
He's everywhere.
And don't that add into the mystery of Lovecraft? Like, regardless on where you look, regardless on how you look at things, regardless on what kind of sacrifices you make, or regardless on anything that goes on in your life, somehow, some way, Lovecraft is involved.
He's touched it in some way. His work has touched it. Everything from horror writers Stephen King to anime, like I said. Embrace the madness in the way of that quote, embrace the madness. And welcome everyone to the worlds of Lovecraft. I'm going to hopefully continue to guide you all, give you ideas on these creatures to know what you're going to be facing with this madness. And I hope you all enjoy it, and I hope you love it as well. The next bits we're going to go over are some of the creatures like we're looking at here with it, the children of the Sphinx, the Azathoth children. All of these ones that are powerful but not quite at the level that you need to be completely terrified of. That's the ones we're going to touch base on the next step. And I hope you all had fun. I hope you liked it. Hope you learned something with this.
Yeah,
and I hope it made you happier to learn about some of this stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that, as you were talking about them, I was putting them together that I never thought about before. So
that's the scary part with talking about Lovecraft. I could explain it, but it ain't gonna click until you end up reading something else, or you see or hear it in a story, and you go, "Oh, that's what that was," or "That's where that connect." Every one of his stories is connected. Every single one. And that is where I will leave it off for now. I hope you all had fun. Kobe, Umbrella, I already said goodbye to Saskiot and Fox. Thank you both for joining me, asking questions. I hope I expanded your horizons a bit with Lovecraft on some of the people and creatures that are involved in there. And I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you guys join me on the next one too.
Yeah, thanks for doing this. I mean, I'll be in touch with you guys, so just let me know when you want to continue, and yeah, I'll be here for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah, definitely. Like, it's
Yep.
pretty much one of those things where it's like it's always good to get knowledge and it's always good to expand the knowledge and expand the horizons. And like I said, if people are watching later on, just make sure, like, put your questions in the comments if you have to. We'll definitely get back to you. I will relay those questions to Drunkle and we'll get an answer for you with whatever questions you have after you watch it.
Yep, absolutely. But in that manner, thank you guys both for joining me. I hope you all had fun. Those watching later on, like he said, you have any questions, feel free to post it in either one. I will have this up on my Twitch still, as well as through posting up on YouTube. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you very much. And well, stay insane and enjoy the madness.
All right. Well, thanks a lot for doing this, and we'll talk to you next time.
Absolutely. Later.
Bye.
Bye.
That was fun.
Well, cool. I'm gonna say goodbye to my stream here, and then I've got another stream planned.
Same.
Yeah, if you're gonna be doing something else, I got something else I'm gonna do. So
Yeah, I'm gonna
sounds
be
good.
jumping on League and doing some League stuff. So if you guys are catching it later, make sure you catch my next video because it's gonna be
Yep.
all sorts of fun with League.
Yep.
Cool.
Later.
All right, talk to you guys later.
Later.
Alright guys, so that is it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you hit the thumbs up button, make sure you subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you know when I go live. If you enjoy this kind of stuff, definitely let me know in the comments. I'll definitely try to do a lot more of it. We're probably going to do quite a few more videos for the Lovecraftian lore. So yeah, definitely keep an eye out for it. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be amazing. There's going to be some comedy in there. There's going to be some disturbing stuff in there, so viewer discretion is advised on it. Other than that, yeah, I will catch y'all